Oh, perfect, there's Elena. Hi Elena. She's joined. Yeah, so the class today is gentle, but we're doing lots of twisting in various different positions just to mobilise the spine and kind of get some energy moving through the body. Because, yeah, I don't know about you guys, but this just feels like it's been going on a long time now. Yeah, energy is waning somewhat. So start by lying down. And we'll just use this first few moments to land on our mats. And excuse me having my phone and my big clock still not working, so I just need to keep an eye on time. But settle down in any position that's comfortable as you're lying. So that could be in constructive rest with feet to the edge of the mat, knees not together. Even on your side, if that's more comfortable for you. But let the body settle into whatever shape you're in. And then just start to notice your breath. That feeling of the inhale and the exhale. Drawing the breath in through the nostrils, maybe noticing that coolness. And then out through the nostrils, feeling the warmth. And to keep your focus on your breath, count how long your inhale lasts and your exhale lasts. So that the speed that you count really doesn't matter, but you just want to get a marker of the length of your inhale and the exhale. And then over a few rounds, lengthen both. If you can, bring them into balance so that they're equal to each other. And slower than when you first started counting. So using this breath and this count as a way of really landing in the present moment. And to stop the busy brain, either kind of ruminating on what's gone before or projecting into what's going to happen next. Just the practice of being present in the moment, breath by breath. And then, as well as being present to the moment, let's also be present to the fact that although we are all separated geographically, we are all connected by our practice together at this time. So we'll take 3 shared breaths. Let's all breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. 2 more, breathe in through the mouth. And let the breath go. Last time, breathe in. And then sigh it out. And then close the mouth and come back to that gentle breath in and out through the nose. And just remember, you're all on mute, so nobody can hear each other while we're practicing. See, I don't know about the circumstances at your home, but when we start to move, sound is a really good way of releasing tension, frustration, emotion that we're holding. So if you need to sigh out at any time, or groan or howl or make any noise, then just do that. Better out than in. And then from wherever you are, we're going to take a full body stretch. So lengthen the legs away, as long as that's comfortable on the lower back, otherwise keep the knees bent. Draw the arms up overhead, take a really long full body stretch. You might need to yawn, I certainly do. And then from here, we're going to take our arms wide away from the body and draw the knees into the chest. So hugging the knees in. We'll start with a gentle supine twist. So we'll drop our knees over to the left. And just feeling the right shoulder heavy down into the earth. And then as you inhale, draw the knees up to center, and exhale. Take them down to the other side. Now we're going to make this movement more dynamic. So take an inhale, and then as you exhale, bring your left hand, take it in an arc behind your head if you've got room, or otherwise just bring it up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, bring the left palm down to meet the right. So you're kind of lying on your side now. Then we're going to take that left hand and inhale. Lift it either behind your head if you've got space, or up to the ceiling. Exhale, take it back down to the other side, and at the same time you're going to take your knees up and over. Take an inhale here, and then the right arm either arcs behind you or up to the ceiling, or up to towards the ceiling and back down, rolling over onto your side. So we're moving between our twists, but using our arms to help us. Inhale, right arm lifts up, and then the knees follow, coming over to the left, and the left hand follows. Left hand leads, inhale, knees follow, over to the right, sorry, over to the left, and then back. So a couple more times, just moving the arms and the knees. Starting to feel some movement, some space created into the thoracic spines through the side ribs. Balance out and then do one more each side. Nice and slowly. And then when you've done that, draw the knees back into the chest and wrap your arms around your shins. Lift your head and shoulders up, or head and shoulders, and just curl into a little ball. Stay breathing though, because sometimes when we lift up, we hold our breath. So breathe. And then let the head and shoulders come down, roll over onto one side, and gently bring yourself up onto all fours into your tabletop position. And just take a moment in stillness again here. And then start to move. And just one thing to think about, if you've got elbows that hyperextend, when you think about drawing the elbows and the backs of the arms slightly back behind you, and then everyone have a little micro bend into your arms so that you feel the muscles working here. You're not just hanging out in the flexibility of the joints. And then we'll take some cats and cows. So as you inhale, lift the chest, lift the sit bones, gazing forward, nice and slowly. And then as you exhale, round. And rather than feeling like you're pressing down to your hands into the floor, can you feel like you're almost doming up through the palms? There's not too much weight going through the wrists. And then inhale, start to lengthen, sit bones draw away, collarbones broaden. And then exhale, round. Keep flowing like that for a few more rounds. And then if you want to introduce some more, organic's probably not the right word, but less linear movements, maybe some hip circles, maybe just dropping the hips from one side, arcing back over and coming back down to the other side, it can feel nice. Or snaking the hips to a figure of 8. And then coming back to stillness, we'll take a static thread the needle to begin with. So you're going to inhale, lift the right arm up towards the ceiling, the chest will turn to the right as well. And then as you exhale, thread that arm all the way down, come onto the right shoulder, side of the right side of the head, and let the right hand rest down. Left hand, you can come up onto the fingertips or walk the hand forward. Just feel the stretch, feel the gentle twist through the thoracic spine. One more breath here. And then exhale, if the left hand's extended, bring it back down underneath the shoulder and come back to your tabletop. And we'll take it on the other side, static to begin with. So we're going to inhale, lift the left arm up, reach up into the armpit, into the fingertips. And then exhale, thread all the way down through. Feel the breath moving in the body. One more breath. And then as you exhale, come back to your tabletop. This time we're going to move in our thread the needle. So you're going to inhale, reach the right arm up. Couple of options here. One is to stick with the arm extended and exhale, thread it through. Don't drop the arm all the way down, bend to the left elbow, and then inhale, reach up again, and keep flowing with that. The second alternative, I think is a little bit more challenging, is to bring the palm of the right hand onto the back of the head, lift the elbow up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, the elbow tip points down, and inhale, and exhale. So for me, that's a slightly stronger twist, and it feels like there's more work going on in the posterior shoulder girdle. But make your choice. That's good to see. Everyone's gone for the challenging option. Nice. So keep flowing with your breath. We'll do 2 more on the right side. And then after the seconds, then come back down to tabletop. Take a moment. Maybe notice any difference in sensation between the right and the left. And then we'll take it on the other side. So again, either the straight arm version or the version with the palm on the back of the head. Inhale to lengthen, and then exhale to turn and to twist. And as you move, just make sure that the breath is still flowing freely, not holding it at any point. 2 more. And then release the left hand down. Take a couple rounds of cat and cow or barrel rolls, just to release out. And then from here, curl the toes under, walk your hands back, come up into a toe squat. So just finding a little bit of balance for a moment. So gaze is straight ahead, crown of the head lifting. And then really root down to the balls of the feet. Use an inhale to lift you up. Come up all the way onto the balls of the feet, up high, heels off the floor. Maintain that gaze. And then slowly let the heels release down. And then walk to the front of your mat if you're not there already. Take a moment to stand and, where's my head gone? Feel really rooted into the ground. And feel that the weight isn't just hanging forward or back, it's equally distributed. And then can you feel like the inside of your big toes is lengthening forward? Actually, I want you to sort of sense what this feels like. So take a gentle forward fold, and then just hook your index and your middle finger around, or hold them onto the inside edge of your big toe, and lengthen your big toe forward so you can feel that space kind of activating to the feet. At the same time, press down to the middle of the heel so that you don't lose the arch into the foot. And then from there, keeping that, coming all the way up to stand. And then we'll start to flow and adding in twists. So from that standing position, inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, gently fold down, bend the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold down, hands down, bend the knees. Big step back with the left foot. And then come down onto the left knee. Draw the hips back so that you square the right knee over the ankle, and inhale, reach your arms up. So there's a lift up through the fingertips. Shoulder blades will lift, but you're not kind of forcing them up. Breathing here. Then we're going to keep the right hand up. On an exhale, bring the left hand down on the inside of the right foot. Turn the body to the right. Reach the right fingertips up. And then you can either stay here or take the back of the right hand onto the outer left hip and just use that to ease yourself around a little bit deeper into the twist. Gaze can be down to the floor or anywhere in between the floor and the ceiling, as long as it's comfortable on your neck. And then just watch that right knee, because it might want to roll out to the side. Keep it square as you turn. And then can you feel as if the breath is moving all the way down into the belly? It's challenging here because the belly's twisting. One more breath. And then on your next inhale, raise that right arm up to the ceiling again. Going to square the torso to the front. Inhale, left arm up to join right. Then we'll take that twist in the opposite direction. So this time the left hand stays up. As you exhale, the right hand onto the outside of the right foot and turn to the opposite side. More of an open twist. Again, you can keep that left hand raised, or you can bring the back of the hand onto the lower right hip or sacral area and open up. Keep drawing that front of the right shoulder back, squeeze, left shoulder, squeeze the inner left shoulder blade in. 3, 2, 1, long steady breath in, Exhale, unwind. This time bring the left hand onto the inside of the right foot. Come up onto the ball of the left foot. Take yourself back to a plank and then drop the knees so you're in a 3/4 plank. Use an exhale to slowly lower all the way down. Hands underneath shoulders. And then lift your right leg up and just pull it back a little bit. So draw the toes away from you. So you'll now feel slightly uneven, like the right leg's longer than the left. So then lift the left leg. Also take it back. And then from here, activate the legs and inhale, lift up into cobra. So it'll be a low cobra, nothing too high yet. And then from here, press down, come into tabletop, curl your toes under and lift up to down dog. Breathing steadily here. Remember, knees bent, rather than ramming the legs straight and overstraining. And then from here, look forward, bend the knees, and walk, if you're feeling energetic, hop, skip or jump to the front of the mat, into your forward fold. And then in your forward fold, just walk your feet slightly wider if they're touching, so they're about hip width apart. I'm going to take the left hand down onto the floor, in between your feet, but forward, so it's more in a triangle. Bring your right hand onto the outside of the right hip, and then we're going to bend into the left knee, turn towards the right, and again, right hand up to the ceiling, and then reach the fingertips up. Think about lengthening that inner big toe forward of that, well, both feet. Breathing here. One more breath. And then exhale, come back to center into your forward fold. Both hands down. And then swapping over, so right hand forward. Bending into the right knee, turning slowly, and then extending the arm up. And that strong stretch through the straight leg. Breathing steadily. One more inhale, and then exhale, come back to your forward fold. This time we'll come to a halfway lift, so extend the spine. Exhale, fold, and then use the next inhale to rise all the way up, and hands back into heart center. Let's balance out on the other side. So walk the feet back into your Tadasana position. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. And then bend the knees, hands down. This time we'll take the right leg back behind you nice and slowly. Come down onto the right knee, top of the right foot. Square the hips and inhale. Reach the arms tall. So get really solid in the base before we come into our twists. And then we're going to leave our left hand up to the ceiling. On an exhale, right hand comes down on the inside of the left foot. Turn to the left. And again, you have the option of leaving fingertips up towards the ceiling or bending the elbow, bringing the back of the hand onto the right outer hip and using that to turn. Again, watching that left knee, I can see mine's rolling out a little bit, so keeping it square. And also drawing the left hip back, because that's going to want to roll forward as the knee comes in. Breathing here. For 3, for 2, for 1. Use an exhale to unwind, left arm lifts up towards the ceiling, right hand comes to join it. And we're going to take that twist on the other side. So leaving the right hand up, use an exhale to bring the left hand down on the outside of the left foot. Turn. And if the floor feels, depending on body proportions, if the floor feels a long way, rather than having the flat of the hand down, Remember, you can always turn it into a fist. That's more comfortable. Really opening up, and again, the option is to bend. Bring the hand around and open up. Stay steady with the breath. Two more breaths. And then if the hand is onto the lower back, inhale, reach it up towards the ceiling. And then we'll square the torso to the front. Right hand down on the inside of the left foot. Both hands flat. Lift the right knee up, come up onto the ball of the foot. Step back to plank. Lower the knees. And come all the way down. Good. And then from here, draw the hands out in front of you. Come up with your forearms into a sphinx. And again, with the right leg, take it away. Left leg, take it away, create some more space. Breathing into the belly. And we'll take a gentle twist here. So lower the belly down. And you're going to take your hands wide of the mat, but not under your shoulders, in front. Press the fingertips down. Inhale, lift up. So elbows can come up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, just gently turn the gaze towards one shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale back to the other shoulder. Inhale to center. And round. And you can start to drop the opposite shoulder down towards the floor. Give you a bit more space, but just moving gently, not coming up necessarily particularly high unless you're feeling warm and mobile. Do one more each side, so that might mean balancing out, depending on where you are. And then when you're balanced out, come all the way down, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, press yourself back into tabletop, drop the bottom back towards the heels and stretch out into child's pose. Coming onto the tops of the feet, and either knees wide, arms out in front of you. If it's more comfortable, then draw the knees together, hands down by your sides in a more classical child's pose. And then from here, inhale, wherever you are, come up onto all fours, curl the toes under, take a long, slow inhale, and then exhale up into down dog. And then just take a moment to paddle the feet. Good. And then from here, slowly on an inhale, raise the right leg. Lift it tall and high. And then as you exhale, bring that right foot forward and land it. If it doesn't get in between the hands in the first go, give the helping hands. And then we're going to bend into that right leg. So we're going to stay up high in the crescent lunge this time. But we're going to repeat the twist. So your left hand stays down. Crown of the head reaches forward to begin with. And then on an inhale, lift the right hand up towards the ceiling. As you do that, just be conscious of your right hip if it's lifted up. Can you draw it down and back? And the option again is still to bend the elbow, take the back of the hand around. Breathing here. And then a little bit of a challenge. We're going to take that right arm up to the ceiling again, and then we're going to come up into a high crescent lunge. So your right fingertips are going to draw back behind you, because we're going to stay in the twist. Your left arm reaches out in front of you. Take it slowly into your crescent lunge twist. And then from an inhale, come back square. And then we're going to take it onto the opposite side. So we're going to take an inhale, reach up through the fingertips. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring your right hand down onto the outside of the right foot, onto fingertips or a fist, or flatter the hand into space, and open to the other side, which I need a haircut. Breathing steadily here. One more breath. And then bring the left hand down onto the inside of the right. And then we'll just release through that right leg. So you're going to draw the pelvis back, take the weight back into the ball of the left foot, lift the right toes up. So you're in a very long, wide pyramid here. Remember, not locking out behind the knee. Taking a moment to breathe into the back of the leg. And just also breathing into the torso and the spine, and their natural alignment rather than the twist. For 3, for 2, for 1. Use an exhale to slowly land the sole of the right foot down. Walk the hands forward, take an inhale. As you exhale, take the right foot back to join the left. And then we'll take that on the other side. So just take a moment to maybe paddle out the feet. And then you're going to use an inhale to slowly, slowly, slowly lift the left leg. And as you exhale, round and bring it forward, land it in between the hands. Make any adjustments to that long, high lunge. Right hand stays down. Use an inhale to lift the left arm up, opening to the side. And again, think about that left hip crease. It may have ridden up and forward. So drop it down, draw it back. Breathe steadily here. And then we're going to take that transition up to our high crescent lunge. So you're going to use the left fingertips to draw back behind you. So inhale, exhale, press down through the feet, and then use the next inhale to lift you slowly. And it's an awkward twist. You're going to try and draw the shoulders back over the hips, and you won't be completely looking to the side, or most of us won't. But feel the turn. 2 more breaths here. And then inhale, slowly come back to center, arms up overhead. And we'll take the twist to the opposite side. So the right hand is going to stay up. On a slow exhale, left hand comes down on the outside of the left foot. Open to the opposite side. Three, for 2, for 1. And then exhale, right hand comes down. We're going to draw back onto the left heel, weight back towards the right foot, lift the toes, come into that extended pyramid. For 3, for 2, for 1. Gently roll back onto the sole of the left foot, hands down, and take a step back into down dog, and then pedal the feet. And then from here, walk the feet forward, maybe a step, and take them wide across your mat. And take your hands wide as well, so you're in a short, fat down dog. And we'll take a down dog twist. So you're going to root down in the left hand and into both feet. Take a long inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to take your right hand underneath the body and around the back of the left ankle, the left calf,
left thigh, and then draw the body so that you're looking under your left armpit to the side. Drawing the pelvis up and back into your down dog. And feeling the breath moving. Maybe see if you can direct the breath into the back body here. This was so twisted underneath. For 3, for 2. One long slow inhale. And then exhale, unwind, come back to your down dog. Take a long slow inhale. Weight into the right hand, and as you exhale, that left hand comes underneath the body, around the back of the right ankle, right calf. Bring the legs back into the down dog. Breathing into the twist. Slowly. 2, 1, and then gently unwind. Adjust yourself back into the usual down dog. And then from here, going to come down onto our knees and take child's pose. So whichever variation of child's pose works best for you. Just taking a moment to feel the energy, all of that twisting, just releasing through the body before we come and take some seated twists. A couple more breaths. And then from here, just gently walk yourself up to a tabletop and then bump over onto one side and come to a seated position. So let's take Janu Sirsasana to begin with. So I find it really helpful to have a little bit of support to bring me up high so that I can, because we're coming into a twist and a forward fold here. So we'll take the right leg, bend at the knee, and bring the right sole of the foot into the left inner thigh. Okay, so get comfortable. And that left leg, I want to try and keep the leg straight into the hip socket, so rather than letting it roll out to the side, we'll keep it nice and square, nice and true. We're going to take the right hand behind us. We're going to inhale, reach the left hand up. Take another long, slow inhale. And then as you exhale, that left hand comes onto the outside of the right knee, across the body. Take an inhale, lift up to the crown of the head, and then gently, imagining that the spine is the central column that you're moving around, keeping breadth across the shoulders. To begin with, keep the chin in line with the middle of the chest. And we'll get a chance to turn a bit more deeply. And then gently allow the gaze, if it's comfortable on the neck, to look over the right shoulder. One more breath. Exhale, come back to center. I'm going to stay in Janu. Going to take the left forearm down onto the left shin, that's what it's called. And then turn the body, so again, twisting open towards that right knee. Inhale the right arm up. Now for lots of us, this is enough here. If you want to, you can start to keep opening and drawing that hand overhead. Or take that right hand, bend the elbow, bring it onto the outside of the left hip. Just guiding you round and then down, round and then down.
but don't go so deep that the breath is compromised and you feel that sort of holding in the chest. See if you can still keep the breath moving right down into the belly. And let the head be relaxed here, so there's no tension in the jaw, not holding the head in a way that it's really uncomfortable. For 3, for 2, for 1, and then slowly on an inhale, coming all the way up. And this time we'll take a more traditional forward fold. So we're going to inhale, reach the arms up, turn the body to that straight left leg. And again, just make sure that the leg bone is coming straight into the socket. And then as you exhale, just letting the hands reach down. There's no particular place that we're aiming for here. They're just coming down to the ground. Use your next inhale to lengthen the chest up. And then exhale, coming forwards. I'm doing that a couple of times. Inhale to lengthen up. And exhale, coming forward. And we're thinking about keeping the pelvis and the legs really connected here. There's no target in terms of the depth we're going to. We're just feeling that forward fold. And then last of all, let the head be heavy. Make sure there's space at the back of the throat, the back of the jaw. And quite a nice way of doing that, and because we're all looking down, it doesn't have to feel too silly. So open your mouth wide. And then keep that open, wide mouth, but just shut your lips. So inside, you've still got lots of space. Then you feel that opening at the back of the jaw rather than the closed off tightening. A couple more rounds of breath here. Notice how the body responds to being held in a shape a little longer. You might find that you end up going a little bit deeper. Doesn't always happen. Use your next inhale to support yourself to come back up to upright. And then we're going to swap over to the other side. We're going to extend the right leg. Left foot comes into inner thigh. Adjust as you need to, again, thinking about that right leg. Stay nice and straight. The other thing to say is if your knee feels like it's very unsupported and it's just hanging in space, then you can always use a prop underneath the outside of the knee. Books work really well, or cushions, just so that you're not having to use too much muscular strength to hold. And then I'm going to bring it into the seated twist. So your left hand comes behind you, right hand reaches up, and then onto the outside of the left knee. Again, chin in line with the middle of the chest. Inhale, reach up, and then start the movement to twist. And as you feel that twist happening, keep rooting down to the sit bones, so you're very connected, legs and pelvis. And the twist is really happening in that thoracic portion of the spine. 2 more long, steady breaths here. Nice, everyone. 1 more inhale, turn the head if you want to. It's not turned already. And then exhale, coming back to center. Going to take the right forearm down onto the shin, or even onto the thigh, if that's more comfortable. Turn the body towards that bent left knee. You could stay here, or raise the arm up towards the ceiling. Let the head hang heavy. Thinking about that opening at the back of the throat again, not closing off. And then the arm could come overhead, or it could come back of the hand onto the lower hip, lower sacrum. Keep rooting down to the sit bones, even as you twist. for 3, for 2, for 1. Very slowly bring yourself back up, head up last. Square to the front. Inhale, reach the arms up, and then turn to that straight right leg. Reach forward. Keep the pelvis connected to the legs. Hands down. Lift up through the chest again. And then start that gentle movement down into your forward fold. And when you're ready, just release the head down. Focusing on breathing into the back body. Two more long, steady breaths. And then use the inhale to gently walk yourself all the way back up. And we're going to extend the left leg out in front. So we'll take a wide-legged forward fold in your position. So again, if you want a little bit of prop, or not to prop up, to raise the pelvis so that you're already folding forward a bit, that's nice. Inhale, reach the arms up. So let's get length through both side bodies again, both sides of the body after the twisting. Maybe take the arms wide for a moment, take up space. Take a long, slow inhale. And then as you exhale, starting to come forward. The hands can come down, arms can come onto the floor. You can hold your feet, but what I don't want you to do, which I see a lot, is kind of grabbing hold of your feet and pulling yourself forward. The work needs to come from the pelvis and the legs, not by using force. So just resting or down on the ground. Breathing. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Again, letting go of any preconceived idea of where we should get to, what this should look like, and just being in the moment. So coming back to that focus on the breath that we had right at the beginning, maybe counting, seeing how the count has maybe changed. And then really letting the head go, so that kind of inward focus, that inward turning. Three more long, steady breaths here. And then using your next inhale to slowly, slowly, slowly walk back up. And then we'll just take Baddha Konasana to stretch the other way. So drawing the soles of the feet together. And have the feet far enough away from you that you can sit nice and tall. So sometimes we kind of pull our feet in and then we come into this very rounded position. We become very rounded. So I want you to have your feet far enough away that you can still sit nice and tall. Don't worry about how high the knees are. My knees are really high. And again, you're just holding your feet to your big toes. You're not using it to pull. And then just feeling that gentle elongation of the inner groin area. Letting gravity move the outer knees down towards the floor, but no force. And it's really tempting, I know, to kind of grab hold and push down and get that deeper sensation. But let's be gentle with ourselves today. The energy is going to move around the body more freely if we're not forcing it. Three more long, steady breaths. And then from here, if you lean forward and bring yourself a little bit more upright, hands onto the outside of the thighs, draw the knees together, and then just wrap your hands around the front of the shins, tuck your head and give yourself a seated hug. And as you do that, really feel the breath moving into the back of the body. My teacher always says, breathe into the back of the heart. And then just change the cross of your arms. Probably feels the weird way. Take a couple more breaths. And then slowly bring yourself up into that upright seated position. Lengthen your legs out in front of you. If you're on a support, pop it to one side. Make sure that you're far enough forward on your mat that you're not going to run out of space. Gosh, it's very dark outside. And we'll come to lie down. So bring your hands out in front of you. And as you exhale, slowly curl down. Round into the back as you go. Chin towards chest. And then draw the arms overhead. If this doesn't feel so good on your lower back, then by all means bend your knees. But we'll take a full body stretch. So just lengthening out the outer sides of the body and the inner seams of the legs as well. Long, steady breaths. And then we'll take this into Banana Asana. So take a long, steady inhale, and on your exhale, walk your hands and your feet over to the left. So you're turning the body into that gentle crescent moon shape, that C shape. If you want a little bit more sensation in the posture, then cross your right ankle over your left and take your right wrist in your left fingers and use that to just draw the arm more over to the side. Again, as you do that, maintain that soft face, that open jaw, no closing off. And breathing into the right side body all the way from the hip, all the way up onto the armpit. Feel the expansion, feel the release. And then you're going to take an inhale, come back to center and you're lying down, and we'll take our crescent moon on the other side. So long, slow inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to walk the feet over to the right, arms over to the right. And again, you've got that crossing over of ankle, and taking hold of left wrist with right fingertips. You want to draw the arm over a little bit more. Three more steady, steady breaths here. And then after that third round of breath, bring yourself back to centre. Pull the arms down by your sides and set yourself up for rest pose, for Shavasana. So do wrap yourself in a blanket, pop on a jumper, put some socks on. It's nice as well to have a little bit of weight onto the pelvis. So if you've got a cushion handy, something like that, so like a sandbag equivalent. And then settle down. Let your focus be absorbed by the rhythm of your breath to begin with. And then let even that go. And just allow yourself to feel any sensations in your body. And take your rest. So we're just coming up dead on the hour. We started a little bit late, so if you can stay with me in Shavasana for a little while longer, and stay down. But if you have meetings and things to get on with, then start to gently bring yourself out. Everyone else will just stay here for a little while longer. And then start to bring some gentle movement into fingers and toes. Extending that to rotations of the wrists and ankles. And then drawing the arms up overhead if you've got space for full body stretch. Really lengthen and then soften. Do that a couple of times. And then draw the knees into your chest, roll over onto your side. And then supporting your body with your hands, bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Let the eyes close, or as I would say, if you've got a beautiful view outside, then if you can have a really broad gaze, that has the same calming effect as shutting out the visual stimuli. Otherwise, yeah, let the eyes softly close. Chin gently tucked, but not so that you're closing off the throat again. We'll just take these last few moments, just in some quiet contemplation, acknowledging your body, your practice. tapping into the feelings and the sensations after all this twisting and rinsing that we've been doing for the last hour. And then when you're ready, gently draw your hands together at heart center. Let's take a breath together. Draw the breath in through the nose. Let it go through the mouth. Let's do 2 more like that. Breath in. And let it go. 1 more. And then close the mouth. Start to rub the palms together. Generate heat. And when you can feel that warmth, cup your hands over your eye sockets. And then allow the eyes to open into that space. Draw your hands down into heart center. Thank you so much for twisting with me this Friday lunchtime. Have a good weekend, guys. Namaste.